Actually, before I became a county commissioner, I was an advocate for educators, for students, and um, I always believed that follow the money was something good to think about. And unfortunately, the state of Michigan, on purpose, selected this nerd as a governor without realizing that, all right, he's a businessman. He might look out at the students in my building and see dollar signs instead of seeing people. He might look at Detroit Public Schools and only look at the charts and not look at the toilet water running into kindergarten buildings or kindergarten rooms. You know, he's only looking at, all right, we gave you some money. Did you spend it wisely? And it didn't take much for his administration to be critical and judgmental about all of this. But when the deck is stacked against our citizens, when the deck is stacked against our children, then it takes people who have integrity and good character to go in there and do the right thing. So one of the reasons I'm running for state representative in the state of Michigan is because Lansing is broken, and when it's broken, our children are going to suffer. The next generation is going to suffer. And I think what happened in Flint is a perfect example. And I think what's happening in Detroit in Detroit schools is a perfect example. And hopefully all of this attention to Flint will get people thinking as they decide when they're going to vote. All right, maybe we need to look less at what the candidate is saying and more at what the candidate actually does. What has the candidate done in their past? And so it's a time when I'm talking to citizens in my district, they want responsible elected officials. They want a voice in their government. They want to be thought about when you're making decisions that affect the quality of their life or their family's life. So I'm hoping that as we move along in 2016, when hopefully we have good turnout for people coming out to vote, and that they start realizing that it matters if you stay home. It matters who you elect. It matters how much you get involved. And so one of my team's goals is to engage as many people on those very topics as we possibly can. And let's not do the same old thing. Let's truly look at the candidates and what they stand for. So I've always been a real strong advocate, and people will tell you that if Lynn Mason is on your board or Lynn Mason is chosen on your committee, then she's going to ask the hard questions. And, you know, I want to be a representative because I want to do the work. Some people want to be either a representative or a governor or even a president of the United States sometimes, and all they want is the power and the title. I don't need that. I'm a retired teacher. I don't need a title, and I don't need power. What I need is to get involved in these situations and bring back some trust that has been shattered in the state of Michigan. And let's really think about it, because I talked to a friend who lives in Arkansas the other day. He brought up the Flint water crisis. I didn't bring it up. He brought it up, and he says, when are people going to start taking a long view at what's happening in our cities and our townships and say, look at our infrastructure everywhere? Because how many of the rest of us are just, you know, one click, one gauge away from having the same kind of problems? So